As above, so below. So goes the saying from the Emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus. And what that means, one of the things that that means is that the physical world and the spiritual world kind of mimic each other, right? Things that happen in the spiritual world also happen in the physical world. One is sort of a template for the other. And the same can be said for dangers. There's dangers in the real world and there's dangers in the spiritual world. So today, I'm going to talk to you about signs that you may be under some kind of spiritual attack, and I'm going to talk about what I mean by that. I'm going to talk about some of the different ways that can happen, but I'm going to talk a little bit about myself first. My name is John Moore, and I am a shamanic teacher. Teach and practice shamanism and some other spiritual things, and I'm from the state of Maine in the U.S. I also, not to talk about myself too much, but I also have a master's degree in information security, and I also have a third degree black belt in jujitsu and taught for many, many years, taught crime prevention and self defense. So, defending oneself, being secure, being safe, those are things that are all very interesting to me, and there is a great deal of overlap in this model. Now, one thing that I want to say up front is that symptoms of a psychic or spiritual attack can often mimic physical or biological mental health issues, and it is really important. I'm a big fan of Western medicine, as well as alternative medicine, but it's really important to get things checked out if you're having physical issues. I always tell clients and students, disqualify the organic explanations first. Okay. If you're depressed or going through some negative things, take care of that. Take care of that physically, mentally, and spiritually. So, got some strange stuff going on. Let's talk about some of the main symptoms of spiritual attack. Now, there are many different things that we could consider spiritual attacks. There's things like the evil eye, which most people have heard of, which is an attack actually that can be done through the gaze at the energy body, which is your aura, your etheric body. It's the thing that acupuncture works on. It's the thing we work with in Tai Chi and Qigong. So you have this sort of energy template that corresponds very closely to your physical body. And energy type attacks can manifest very physical problems, and some other problems as well. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can detect these things. So unexplained fatigue. So again, sudden unexplained fatigue that doesn't really go away. Um, Again, there could be biological reasons for this, or could be something that has drained away your energy or burned away your energy or done something to your non-physical energy. Um, Negative thoughts and emotions, and of course we all have negative thoughts and emotions, but really intrusive stuff you can't get out of your head. Again, there could be a mental health issue here. So seek talk therapy, seek mental health counseling of some kind first. But this is another indication, particularly if the thoughts don't necessarily feel like they're yours. Now, real issue here is that people who have certain psychotic disorders, hear voices and have negative thoughts all the time. My opinion, my shamanic opinion about that is those people are wide open and picking up a lot of signals, and their brain is trying to make sense out of them. And so they're having what we would consider hallucinations and delusions and all kinds of things. And antipsychotics tend to close those things down, and so not quite as intrusive. So I do think there's a physical aspect and a spiritual aspect to a lot of these things as well. Um, Suddenly, so a lot of these things will happen suddenly and without explanation. So you could experience all of a sudden a breakdown in a bunch of your relationships, leading to isolation, like weird arguments with people, weird, people leaving you, all kinds of relationship issues. Again, there can be ordinary reality causes for that. Maybe you are argumentative with people, or are difficult to get along with, but without explanation. If your relationships start closing down around you, or people start turning against you for reasons you can't determine, that may be an indication of some sort of um, attack. Um, Physical ailments without a clear cause, again, without a clear cause, without a clear biological cause, can be the result of spiritual attack, or can have spiritual roots for sure. Things like soul loss, not necessarily a spiritual attack, just something that happens when we experience trauma. So again, but can be a sign. Um, Disturbed sleep patterns, particularly if there are recurring nightmares, that are very, very similar in material and stuff. I see this often with spiritual attack because we are more open when we're asleep. It presents what we would call in the information security business an attack vector, a way that an attack can get to you, a weakness, a time of weakness. So often that is a location of spiritual attack. So those are some of the things that you might be experiencing, and there's some other signs that you may be under spiritual attack. One is, you find strange objects, powders, that sort of thing, um, in your pathway, by your home, places where you go to work. Um, again, somebody might drop something, but if you're finding things repeatedly, or somebody's throwing things into your yard, or placing things in your pathway, these are signs that somebody may be trying to do things with, do spiritual attack. Biggest indicator when somebody comes to me and says, I think, somebody's cursing me, or somebody's attacking me in some way spiritually, is I'll ask, have you had a close relationship with somebody who practices some form of art that teaches cursing? Um, this isn't always obvious to us. We don't always know what people are practicing in the privacy of their homes or whatever, but you might think, oh yeah, my ex-girlfriend, practices, is a hereditary Italian witch, a strega, and they're big on cursing, and it's a big part of that culture. Or, my former employee had a lot of strange esoteric tattoos. Not to, I've got tattoos, I've got esoteric tattoos, but I don't curse people. Um, Not that that's 100%, but again, we're looking for clues to hone in on what's going on. Um, if you suspect, and if you are 100% convinced that you are cursed, and you don't have the background or the training or the experience to actually diagnose cursing or spiritual attack, be really careful there. Again, like, the risk is that you're overlooking potential other physical issues that need to be addressed. I years ago, even though I had the experience, I pretty much knew that somebody was doing a spiritual attack towards me. I actually went to two other practitioners, two different practitioners with different spiritual systems, and I said, "This is what's going on with me." And they both pointed to the same person. They both pointed to the same activities that were happening. Um, so I got some confirmation. So get confirmation. First of all, find somebody credible. There are people out there who, there have been flim flam artists in the spiritual realm since time immemorial. And there are people who will take your money to lift curses and that sort of thing. And not to say you're not going to pay for necessarily for services, but if you have somebody you trust that you can just go to, that is some sort of magic practitioner, or does curse unraveling, or particularly most shamanic practitioners are trained to do curse unraveling. or defend against sort of psychic or spiritual attack, go to somebody like that and ask, this stuff's going on with me. Ask what they can do. Yes, I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I do have a bias in that direction. But if you go to a shamanic healer, and you explain what's going on with you, they're not going to jump to conclusions. They're going to do diagnostic work with you and try to figure out what's going on. In a future video, I will talk about some of the things that you can do if you find you're under psychic attack, but very frequently, spiritual or psychic attack may require some kind of professional intervention. There are lots of things you can do to protect yourself. Lots of books out there. I'll do videos on that as well. But I'll also do a video that will talk about how to know it's time for some professional help, how to call in the big guns, as we say. And so I hope that's helpful. One of the last signs that I will give you, and this can be a challenging one as well, is a depletion of luck. If you think of luck as like an energy that you have, like your physical energy, like you use it and it replenishes, and you use it and it replenishes, and things start to go awry. Things in your life start falling apart. A bunch of things all at once. Somebody I know years ago, like, somebody stole something from her, and then she went to like the dentist she's been going to for 20 years, and they had no record that she was ever a patient. And, just one thing after another was happening to this person. It was really, really strange, a really strange set of coincidences. That's not necessarily a spiritual attack. It can be a sign that that's happening, combined with the other things that are going on, like a real run of just crazy, strange bad luck, along with some physical symptoms, and then linking that perhaps to somebody who is angry at you for some reason, or you may not even know. But sometimes that will definitely require a professional to come in and find the source, as we say, and do something about it. So I hope that's helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I also offer membership now as well. So there are some, members only perks, like members only videos and members only chats and things like that. And with that, I will leave you, and I will talk to you very soon.